The Alexa Bliss and Wyatt Sicks storyline just kicked off in an explosive way, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out the recent releases and much more, starting things off with the official beginning of the Alexa Bliss and Wyatt Sicks storyline. Plans to pair Alexa and the Wyatts have been on and off again for several weeks, but the February 7th edition of SmackDown just confirmed that the story is officially taking place and has already started. Alexa Bliss appeared on SmackDown to take on Candice in a qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber. Alexa ended up picking up the win in qualifying for the match, but the most intriguing thing took place right in the middle of the match. As Alexa was battling Candice, a full static screen took over the broadcast, and then a smaller static screen appeared in the middle of the screen. This was not a broadcast glitch or error, this was a static screen belonging to Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks. It's the same screen that popped up several times before they made their arrival last June. There was no code to scan with this screen, there were no words or anything like that displayed at all. This static screen delivered the message and spoke for itself. It was meant to signify that the Wyatt Sicks are now officially locked in on Alexa Bliss. So it looks like they're approaching this story very similarly to Alexa's story with Uncle Howdy from a few years back. Howdy was slowly influencing Alexa and getting into her head over a span of time, and it looks like that's exactly what's about to start happening again. This static screen was the first sign that the Wyatts are coming for Alexa Bliss, and she's going to be the centerpiece of their new program. Are they coming to Alexa Bliss in a friendly way or hostile fashion? Obviously, that's part of the mystery right now. It's clear that Uncle Howdy has deep admiration and love for Alexa Bliss due to how close she was to Bray Wyatt. But what happens if Alexa isn't fully willing to instantly join the Wyatt Sicks right away? Will Uncle Howdy be understanding and would allow Alexa to be free on her own? Or will Howdy use Nikki Cross to be some sense into Alexa Bliss to join their cause? But it surely looks like February 7th was the first small teaser to at least kick this story off. And now all the new teasers we'll see on SmackDown over the next few weeks will only continue to grow in size as the Wyatt Sicks try recruiting Alexa Bliss. Another very cool teaser for this whole story came from the Wyatt Sicks Twitter account. Right around the time of Alexa's match on SmackDown, the official Wyatt Sicks page posted one single word to their page, and it was the word "she" in all caps. Obviously, the Wyatt Sicks were referring to Alexa Bliss there with that post, but it goes much deeper than that. By posting that message during Alexa's match, the Wyatt Sicks just confirmed a fan theory dating all the way back to last May. During last spring, Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Sicks had teasers for their returns plastered everywhere you looked for a solid 3 months straight. And during one of these teasers, Uncle Howdy was shown sending out letters of recruitments to his Wyatt Sicks members. Uncle Howdy did not put any names on any of the letters, but telling by some of the context clues in his recruitment letters, it was easy to find out who he was referring to in each individual letter. Each Wyatt Sicks member had a letter written out to them by Uncle Howdy in that fashion. But there was one letter from Howdy that wasn't directed to one of the current Wyatt Sicks members. This forgotten letter was directed to an individual that Howdy simply referred to as she. Howdy noted back in this mysterious letter from spring of last year that when she speaks, mountains should tremble. It's waiting for her. He can only open the door. She must choose to walk through. And since Howdy had already directed another separate letter to Nikki Cross, fans were curious about who this other apparent woman was that Howdy was writing this letter to. And the best fan theory was that Alexa Bliss was the she that Uncle Howdy was referring to there in that letter. And that was Howdy's recruitment letter to Alexa Bliss, with him basically saying that the door to the family was wide open to Alexa, but that he can't force her to walk through it. How that decision is up to her to make on her own. So now you come back to this new post of the Wyatt Sicks posting the word "she" in all caps, the same way "she" was in all caps back in Howdy's old mysterious letter from last spring. And there you have the full confirmation that Alexa Bliss was the mysterious woman Uncle Howdy had been referring to this whole entire time. So now we can go back to that mysterious recruitment letter and now know for certain that Howdy did in fact draw that letter up for Alexa Bliss after all. No more speculating that it was Alexa. Howdy just confirmed that it was intended for Alexa from the very start. It took a long time to get that payoff, but after 1 full year, that fan theory was finally confirmed. Uncle Howdy wanted Alexa Bliss in the group ever since day one when he was sending out those invitations last year. So Alexa wasn't forgotten or ignored by Uncle Howdy at all. That special invite was made for Alexa last year and has been sitting there unanswered by Alexa Bliss this whole entire time. So it looks like now that Alexa Bliss is back on television, Uncle Howdy plans on reminding her about that invite he sent her last year, and he's going to want an answer from her. That was such a major reveal there for the entire backstory of the Wyatt Sicks. Howdy had been referencing this mystery woman for so long and has just finally confirmed everyone's suspicions that it was in fact Alexa Bliss. Alexa is still using the Sister Abigail as her finishing move, which is the same exact move that Uncle Howdy uses as well. So they both got these close ties to Bray Wyatt. They're both paying tribute to him in many ways, and it looks like they're both about to cross paths and link up here real soon. Alexa qualified for the Women's Elimination Chamber match, so that's going to be a big appearance to keep an eye on for the sake of this current storyline with the Wyatts. Maybe we'll get a bigger teaser for the Wyatts and Alexa during the Elimination Chamber itself. This week was just the static screen with no other context or further details, but you just know that they're about to ramp up those clues here in the coming weeks. And considering Alexa's rich history with Bray Wyatt and Uncle Howdy, chances are that these upcoming hints and teasers could include a trip down memory lane with several flashbacks to Alexa's biggest moments since joining Bray Wyatt's world. So we're officially on the road of a reunion between Alexa Bliss and Uncle Howdy, and it'll be great to see how that story continues to unfold over on SmackDown. While the February 7th edition of SmackDown was on air, fans suffered several gut-punching headlines about several superstars that were all released from the company. It was reported by Fightful, PW Insider, and multiple other outlets that Cedric Alexander, the authors of Pain, Sonya Deville, and Blair Davenport were all released from their contracts. And it was devastating for fans because everyone from this batch of releases was unexpected and quite shocking. The authors of Pain were actively a part of the Final Testament faction and had just wrapped up a feud with the Wyatts, so their release instantly ends the Final Testament and leaves Cross and Scarlett back on their own again. Blair Davenport is another big shocker. She was just called up to the main roster not that long ago, was barely used, and now suddenly released. Fans feel like Blair wasn't really given a fair shot on the main roster. The most shocking name on this list of releases is absolutely Sonya Deville. This is a superstar that's been with the company for a near decade and would constantly reinvent herself. She was a singles star, she was a faction member, she was an authority figure, she did a lot and was becoming a veteran in the locker room, but was unfortunately a victim of this wave of releases. As far as the reason for the releases, reports seem to imply that it's just part of the usual budget cuts. Last time there was a wave of releases like that, it was just a few months back in December. And now a few months later, and another batch of superstars were lost. The batches and waves of releases are always a devastating time for fans and talent. No one wants to see their favorite stars leave like that so unexpectedly out of nowhere. But the good thing is that there's a lot of landing spots out there, so it's very possible that we have not seen the last of them inside the ring at all. As far as more releases go, fans are strongly hoping that this batch is over for now, but just judging by how things have been going in recent memory, it does look like they're starting to cut unutilized talent every few months. So it's a dreaded time for everyone, but hopefully we still get to see all those talents inside a ring again real soon.
But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.